here is for me, really. So I'm going to talk about some of the things that's happened to my family, some of the tragedies that we've been through, some of the hard things that have happened to us. And one of the reasons and the ways that me and my family members get through that stuff is by doing stuff like this. Coming out here and talking to you guys, helping other people, helping prevent these tragedies from happening to other families. And so that's kind of healing and therapy for me. So this is just as much beneficial to me as it potentially is to you guys. And so I also want to thank you guys for having me here because it's also helping me as well. So I'm going to break this down, and it's only going to take about 30 minutes, so I'll keep it short and sweet. But I'm going to break it down into kind of three main components of stuff I want to hit on today with you guys. The first is I want to talk about my family. I want to talk about our story, how addiction kind of penetrated our family and began to affect us, and how that has played a role in our lives now. And then I want to talk about a little bit of science. I know it's a Friday afternoon and you guys all got out of class, but I think it's really important that you understand what addiction is and how it affects your brain, how it biologically affects your whole body. And I think that when you understand that, you begin to look at addiction a little bit differently than most of the people in the world. And so I think it's important that you understand that information. And the third thing I want to touch on is the ways in which this stuff all ties back to you guys. I think it's awesome that people are bringing speakers into middle schools right now because this is where it starts. What you guys are doing matters. And I have kind of made some observations through the stuff that's happened in my life and the stuff that's happened to my family that I think is really applicable to you guys. And so I just want to give you some kind of advice based on the stuff that I've learned that I think you guys could use and would be helpful to you. So my family. I grew up in Germantown, right down the road. Moved to Valley View. Pretty much everyone in my family did the same. And grew up in kind of this all-American family. Not the stereotypical drug-addicted family at all. My mom was a teacher, my dad owned a family business, I had two older brothers, you know, we all played football, we went boating, we loved to swim, we had family dinners around the table every night. You know, it was this all-American dream, really. Our life was great. Never in a million years thought that addiction would be something that would not only affect our family, but really destroy our family. And until it did. And so I want to talk to you about three young men in my life that were all huge pieces of who I was. Talk to you about who they were, how drug addiction crept its way into their life, and how it ultimately ended for them. So my oldest brother is named Zach. He was 18 years older than me, and he was the life of the party. He was like the funniest man in town. He loved to be the center of attention. He loved to be in the middle of the living room, cracking jokes, making everybody in the room laugh and smile. He was just that guy who loved to make people laugh and make people happy. He played football in high school, was super popular. He grew up to be a police officer, and he worked for a department here locally, and that was like his niche. He loved to be in the center of action, to know all the drama and what was going on in town. And so what better way to be a police officer than know everyone's business? And so he loved it. He thrived in that environment. When I talk about how addiction kind of introduced into these people's lives that I want to talk about, you're going to notice some common themes, some common stories. I'm not going to go into every detail of how this happened and every single contributing factor, but you're going to notice some kind of recurring themes. With Zach, when he was in high school, he was a bit of a partier. He was a popular kid. He would go to parties on the weekends. He would drink. He would probably smoke pot. But it wasn't something that anyone really thought was a huge problem at the time. Right? All of his friends were doing it. He graduated with his friends. He maintained his status on the football team. It wasn't a huge deal, right? Until it wasn't. After high school, all of his friends kind of went off and did their own thing. They made families and got jobs and moved away. And for whatever reason, Zach had a harder time letting go of that recreational partying on the weekends, he wasn't able to just restrict it to the weekends. It was something that he kind of wanted to do during the week, and after work, and before work. And throughout the period of about 10 years, it just kind of got worse and worse and worse and worse, to the point where it started just on the weekends, and then kind of got to maybe a day or two on the week, and then it got to every single night, and then it got to the point where he couldn't stop. It started with marijuana and alcohol, and then he needed a little bit of more high, so he started doing some pills, and he needed something even more, and then he started doing some illicit street drugs, and it just got worse and worse and worse, to the point where he got well into his 20s and realized, I can't get out of this. And so he went through rehab after rehab after rehab. He would get sober for a period of time and do really well, and he would ultimately relapse. At that point, this was like in the late 90s, early 2000s, before most of you guys, probably all of you guys were born, and you didn't really hear about people overdosing on drugs then. You heard about drug addiction, but it wasn't something that usually killed people, or that at least people talked about. And so we knew Zach was in trouble, but we didn't necessarily think that this was going to kill him. That's just not something that was on our radar. It hadn't happened to anybody in our family. It wasn't something that we thought was realistic. We just thought this was going to be how Zach was. This is how he is. On July 30th of 2005, Zach lost his battle. And he passed away from an overdose on a drug called fentanyl, which is kind of in the news fairly often now. It's related to heroin and related to opiates. It's kind of in that same family. But it was fairly rare at that point. He was just at a party that night, didn't expect to overdose, didn't expect to die. He was just enjoying some time with his friends. And he never woke up. I have another brother named Daniel. He's 6 years older than me, and he probably has the biggest heart of anyone I've ever met. He loved to give back to people. He is the person at family functions that would clean up everyone's dish and clean up and do all the dishes, even though you didn't ask. He is the type of person that would fold up all of his leftovers and take them to the neighbor who is less fortunate. He would spend his free time volunteering in food trucks, serving the homeless. That's just the type of person he was. He loved spending his free time just giving back because that made him feel fulfilled. Daniel was also a dad to 3 boys, one of which is with us today. But that was Daniel's world. He loved being a dad more than anything. He would take pictures of his boys and brag around town, flashing pictures to them, bragging how good looking they were and how funny and athletic they were. That was his world. He loved his boys. Similar to Zach, though, in high school, he would mess around with recreational drugs. He would go to parties on the weekends and drink. He would smoke pot, maybe pop the occasional Xanax or Percocet, pills that you hear kind of thrown around on the weekends, and didn't really think anything of it. Thought that he was in control, thought all of his friends were doing it, they were in control. What can it hurt, right? It's all fun and games until it wasn't. But I think the moment that it got really serious for Daniel was after Zach passed away. Zach and Daniel were best friends. They were 2 peas in a pod. They were they loved each other. And so when Zach died, Daniel didn't really know how to cope. He didn't really know how to deal with it. And so although he had already kind of developed a drug problem, it wasn't as severe nearly as it ultimately became. And so over the course of those following 2 to 3 years, Daniel's addiction got pretty bad, to the point where he started to go to rehab after rehab after rehab, and would ultimately come home, be sober for a little while, do really well, and then relapse. And all, through the while, he maintained this huge-hearted, funny, awesome, protective big brother. He never lost that side of him. But I could see throughout the years, as he got further and further into his drug addiction, that it was starting to overcome him, that he was losing control, and he didn't know what to do. although we had already lost somebody in our family from drug overdose, and we knew that it was a great possibility for Daniel, in the back of my mind, I always thought too, well, tragedy's not going to strike the same thing twice, right? Like, we've already lost somebody, that was our one loss, it's not going to happen again. Although we didn't really know what to do with Zach when he passed away, we still really didn't know what to do when Daniel's addiction got serious either. We still really didn't know how to help him. The day after Christmas, 2015, Daniel lost his battle with drug addiction. The last person I want to talk to you guys about is my cousin Andy. Andy and I were like two peas in a pod growing up. We were 6 months apart in age. Our moms were sisters, and we were like the two kids that had matching Halloween costumes every year. We had matching outfits to the football games, to Christmas. We had sleepovers pretty much every single week for probably over 10 years. We were in the same friend group. We played the same sports. We were with each other pretty much every day. And ultimately, he was probably closer to me growing up than either of my brothers were. And he was the all-American kid, super athletic, super popular. He was a stellar football player at Valley View, was voted the wide receiver of the year at the Daily News, was voted best looking in our class my senior year. I mean, this kid was like the all-American, like everyone wanted to be him. Never in a million years thought he would get hooked on drugs. In high school, it was the same thing. He would drink, maybe smoke some pot. It wasn't anything serious that he thought. He was in control. He was still popular, getting good grades, all of that. And so, what's it to her? It's all fun and games. After we graduated, he